Good morning, students. Today we can see about thyroid dysfunction in pregnancy. Maternal and fetal neonatal complications of untreated hyperthyroidism. Maternal include miscarriage, preterm delivery, preeclampsia, congestive cardiac failure, placental abruption, thyroid storm, and infection. Fetal include IUGR, prematurity, stillbirth, hypothyroidism, increased parental mortality and morbidity. Hyperthyroidism. Physiological changes during pregnancy, such as increase in cardiac output, oxygen consumption, and heat production, may be mimic mild high thyrotoxicosis. Hyperthyroidism occur about 2 per 10,000 pregnancies. Autoimmune hyperthyroidism, that is grave disease due to thyroid stimulating antibodies, is a commonest cause. Other causes are nodular thyroid disease, subacute thyroiditis, hyperemesis gravidarum, and trophoblastic diseases. Thyroid stimulating antibodies cross the placenta and produce neonatal thyrotoxicosis with increased neonatal death. The risk is increased if the antithyroid drug is stopped in late pregnancy or following surgery. The clinical diagnosis of hyperthyroidism should be always confirmed by measuring free T4 index and FT3 high and TSH levels. Ultrasonography of fetal thyroid gland is to be done when the mother is taking antithyroid drugs. Thyroid peroxidase antibodies and thyroid stimulating immunoglobulin should be measured. Radioactive iodine uptake and scan should not be done during pregnancy as it will cross the placenta and damage fetal thyroid gland permanently. The, the mainstay of treatment is use of antithyroid drugs. For the drugs are effective, methimazole is preferably avoid the first trimester of pregnancy if PTU is available. Methimazole has risk of embryopathy. Carbim, Carbimazole is given orally with a daily dose of 10 to 40 milligram and maintained at this dose until patient become euthyroid. When the progressively reduced to maintenance of between 5 milligram and 15 milligram daily. Propylthiouracil is given daily dose of 300 to 450 mg and continued till the patient becomes euthyroid. The maintenance dose being 50 and 150 milligram daily. Both the drugs may cause fetal goiter and hypothyroidism. M- Methimazole may be associated with aplastic cutitis of the neonate. Normalization of TSH and FT34 are indicated to reduce the dose of drugs. Patients having marked tachycardia or arrhythmias should be have propranolol, that is a beta blocking agent. Fetal surveillance is maintained by series of USG, non-stress test, and biophysical profile. Drugs are not contraindicated during breastfeeding provided the dose is kept relatively low and close monitoring of the neonatal thyroid functions are carried out. Cord blood should be taken for TSH and free T3, T4 at the time of delivery to detect neonatal hyperthyroidism. Thyroidectomy, when required to relieve the pressure symptoms, can be done safely in the second trimester with the prior biochemical control. Preconception counseling include considering the hazards during pregnancy. Preconception counseling is important. Adequate treatment should be instituted to bring down the thyroid function profile to the normal. Radioactive iodine therapy should not be given to patients wanting pregnancy within a 1 year. If pregnancy occurs inadvertently, termination should be done. Oral pill is to be withheld because accelerated metabolism and disturbed liver function. Hypothyroidism may be subclinical. The clinical association of hypothyroidism in pregnancy may be due to first-time diagnosis in pregnancy. Hypothyroid women who either discontinue thyroid therapy or who need larger doses in pregnancy. Hypothyroid women on excessive amounts of antithyroid drugs. Women with lithium or amiodarone therapy. Primarily, hypothyroidism met in pregnancy is most related to thyroid autoimmunity, that is Hashimoto thyroiditis. Myxedema rarely present in pregnancy because they tend to be infertile. Untreated hypothyroidism in early pregnancy have high fetal wastage in the form of abortion, stillbirth, and permanently and deficient intellectual development of a child. However, pregnancy complications like preeclampsia and anemia are high. Serum thyroid peroxidase antibodies or antimicrosomal antibodies are elevated in autoimmune thyroiditis. Serum TSH should be repeated at the interval of 6 to 8 weeks and there is increased demand of thyroid hormone in the second half of pregnancy. The patient is having substitution therapy in the pre-pregnant state. The dose of levothyroxine need to be increased in pregnancy. Generally, therapy started between 2 to 2.4 microgram per kg per day. The maintenance doses for most patients is between 75 to 150 microgram. The serum TSH should be repeated every 2 to 6 weeks. In order to keep the serum TSH, the serum FT34, FT341 values within the normal range, the dose need to be increased in second trimester of pregnancy. After delivery, the dose is reduced. Postpartum thyroiditis is an autoimmune hypothyroid observed by 6 to 12 weeks postpartum due to antimicrosomal antibodies. Most women present with a transient hypothyroid state, of which nearly two-thirds become euthyroid and remaining one-third become hypothyroid. The high-risk factors are infections, traumatic delivery, dehydration, and stress. Treatment with asymptomatic beta blockers and or levothyroxine. Thyroid storm is a life-threatening complication. It is diagnosed by features of severe thyroid toxicosis like hyperpyrexia, tachycardia, CCF, and neuropsychiatric symptoms, nausea and vomiting. Mortality rate is about 25%. Lab test shows hyperthyroid changes. Management includes aggressive approach like support therapy of intensive care unit, fluids and electrolyte balance, oxygen therapy, and acetaminophen for hyperpyrexia. Management of congestive cardiac failure, beta blockers therapy to control hyperdynamic symptoms, antithyroid drugs to block thyroid hormone synthesis, leucol iodine solutions, and glucocorticosteroids to block peripheral conversion of serum T4 to T3. Thyroid storm is a life-threatening condition with a mortality rate of 25%. Thank you.